All right, welcome back. I'm Brian.
I'm TK.
Welcome back to another episode of Only Pools Podcast.
You down with OPP? Yeah, you know me. You down with OPP? Yeah, you know me. You down with OPP? Yeah, you know me. Who's down with OPP? Every last homie. You ever go swimming? Man, it's so much fun. Now we got a podcast joining everyone. Talking about pools, the stories we share. From backyard splashing to Olympic fair. We got chlorine, pH, and filter tips. Keep your pool fresh, avoiding no slips. With hosts so cool and guests so neat. We're dropping pool knowledge that it can't be beat. You down with OPP? Only Pools Podcast. You down with OPP? Only Pools Podcast. You down with OPP? Only Pools Podcast. Who's down with OPP? Every last homie. Only Pools Podcast. Let's go.
All right. So today's topic is cleaning up after a pool party, right?
Yep, we just had Labor Day,
Uh-huh.
and a lot of people are in your pool. A lot of disgusting stuff is in your pool.
Yep, stuff you don't even want to know about.
Yep. And easy one, we're just going to talk and go over some preventative as well as post stuff you can do to keep your pool looking clean the entire time, or what
Okay.
you should do before you invite 50 people over in your pool.
All right, let's get into it.
Yeah. So it's pretty easy with any holiday, with any party. Before you go in your pool, you should at least see where it's at. Do a quick cleanup. And I would say this is where you should spend most of your time. Before anybody shows up, get all the toys out of the pool, get a good brushing down on all the walls and all the benches. If you have a little vacuum, put it in there. A lot of places I've seen, which I didn't really think too much of, but they said that's when you should turn your pump on for 24 hours.
Yeah, it wouldn't hurt. I don't think you necessarily have to do that. If I know if I'm having a pool party, I would probably go ahead and elevate my chlorine level, get it up there around a 7 or 8, so I know that all the people that are using the pool and stuff, it's not going to dilute it down to 0 the next day. That's probably the first thing I would do, chemistry-wise, to make sure that chlorine level's up and pH level's where it's supposed to be.
And there's another thing, it's as long as you do a good enough clean beforehand, like spray down your filter if you have the cartridge one, or backwash any of your other filters. That was the next step, was give it a good shock 24 to 48 hours beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody else actually said this in any of the things that I was reading, but I would retest to see where your chems are at before anybody gets in there. So if it's an afternoon party, while you're setting out hors d'oeuvres and everything, you should probably check the chems one more time just to make sure everything's still not spiked from
Right. Yeah. Well, actually, before the hors d'oeuvres are out, you want to do that. If you do it on parties on Saturday, Friday, you're doing your Friday night test, and then Saturday morning, test it right away to make sure you're where you're at. They do sell some products that will lower your pH or your chlorine level pretty much right away if it's too high.
Right.
They can be kind of dicey because it can also take it all out, and it can take days to be able to build it back up again. Be careful with that term shock. The term shock, that when they tell or when you think of the word shock, it seems like you're shocking the system of the pool.
Mm-hmm.
Really, all you need to do is elevate the chlorine level. Don't super shock it, because people can get in, their swimsuits will bleach out if the chlorine level is too high. And too high of a chlorine level, anything over 10 is, according to the Department of Health, is too high, and it can bleach out suits. So,
but if you have blonde hair, we learned from last episode, it won't turn it green.
Yep, it's not the chlorine; it'd be there's copper in the water.
A few websites had, from what I was reading, enzymes and clarifiers just to make the water look nice and pretty, crystal clean. That way, you can put it in before your guests show up, so you don't show up to a cloudy pool.
Typically, the difference between your two products there, you're talking about enzymes and clarifiers. Clarifiers will usually take whatever organic material or floating material, the cloudiness, and it binds it so that it can go out to your filter. Makes it easier for your filter to clean the water, and it just binds those particles. An enzyme is actually a live bacteria that you put in your pool, and it will consume those organics that are in the pool.
Oh.
So enzymes are fantastic. They're a great preventative to add to your pool. If you're adding them weekly, you got a good chance of not having any issues. Another good thing enzyme is good for is breaking down and keeping that your tile line looking really, really good.
Not getting that gunk buildup.
Yep, you won't get the slime buildup on the side of your tiles and stuff like that. Enzymes are awesome for that.
If you add enzyme, I guess I didn't research too much of it, but enzymes or clarifiers, is there any warning or anything if you add those to a pool before a party?
Not really. Clarifier side, don't expect too much. It's not going to instantly clear your pool.
No.
It's not. The only thing that keeps your pool really clear is good water chemistry all around.
Right.
I mean, you're in your what we talk about probably every week. Yep.
The Holy Trinity.
Holy Trinity. Your circulation, your chemicals, make sure they're balanced, and circulation in the pool. That's your best way to keep your pool clean. But the clarifiers will help bind any organics that are in the water so it can go to your filter. Then enzymes will just consume it so that you don't have to worry about it too much. So once the algae and stuff is killed, those enzymes will actually eat up all the dead algae. We've got a couple of products that we use when I flip pools. I'll put something in called Pool First Aid, which does that exactly that. It's got enzymes in it, and usually
Looks like tea.
Yep, and I usually won't have to go back and vacuum the pool afterwards because the enzymes already ate all the dead algae off the bottom of the pool. It doesn't do it all the time, but most time it works.
How do you know when you can swim after you add any of that, or
the general rule when you're doing stuff like that is 24 hours. Always retest the water though. Mainly your chlorine and pH is what you want to make sure. Got to make sure there is a sanitizer still in the water,
right?
And make sure that the pH is where it's supposed to be.
So we're up to the party spot, but quick clean around your pool. Maybe blow off any leaves, anything around the sides. Brush, net, skim, vacuum your pool if you have one, and then filter. We did all that. Maybe we add a clarifier. Maybe we add an enzyme. Party time.
Yep. And then the more you do to prepare before the party, the less you're gonna have to do after the party.
Yes.
So to avoid, having that party, if you don't do anything and just leave everything status quo, and then on Sunday morning you wake up, your pool's gonna be milky, cloudy, and now you're gonna spend a lot more time, a lot more money trying to clean it back up.
And it's gonna be hard to convince all the people that you invited to shower before they get in, because there's probably not an outdoor shower in your backyard.
Right. Some do have it, some don't, but yeah. So it is a great idea if they are able to shower before they go in the pool. But I know when my pool's dug, hopefully in November, knock on wood, we will have an outdoor shower. I don't know how many people will actually use it, but we'll have one available.
It's called a garden hose.
Yeah, that'll work too. Absolutely.
Cool.
Yep.
We throw in a party. We had maybe 10 to 20 bodies in the water. Now we got to clean up after everyone.
Mm-hmm.
First thing I would do is pull that filter out.
Yep. You want to pull the filter out, give it a good hose down.
Oh, good hose down.
If it's a DE or sand filter, give it a good backwash for a few minutes. When you're backwashing, you're waiting for that. You want to see that water run clear again on the backwash side. And once it is, then you can go and flip it back to filter and add your DE and all that.
Recharge.
Yep.
Which I think next couple of episodes, we might go over filters and their common use, and then maybe we'll do a comparison out of all of them when we're done. But if you have a DE or sand filter, backwash it. DE filters, you'll have to recharge. Cartridge filter, I cleaned up a party. Oh gosh, it was somebody's golden birthday, and there was golden flakes because they had confetti. They also they didn't dye anything, but there was like a gold sparkly, glitter. Not film, but glitter in their pool. Okay. And I think for at least 6-8 weeks, every week I was there, I was still spraying out glitter and gold.
Yeah.
And
I see somebody, I don't know if they opened up a package from Amazon on their back porch or something, but we had floating peanuts, styrofoam peanuts, like little broken pieces of styrofoam for months. That we were, every time we went there, every week, there's more in there. So I don't know where it's coming from, but
I just thought of this. We should do a horror story of all the Airbnbs we have, all the Airbnbs all of us have cleaned up, because I have some horror story cleanups from Airbnbs. And one of these days we should compile a story time.
Yeah, we've got one we're working with right now that's we've had to reshock it probably
Oh,
I think
it's
this is
big.
today's the fourth time because the neighbor's drainage goes basically into his yard,
No.
and we charged this poor gentleman, $400 or $500 each time. So he spent like $2,000 in the
Oh,
last 2 weeks just trying to clean his pool out.
but it's a big pool.
Yeah, I mean it's $1 million pool.
It's
Easy.
yeah.
So it's a very nice pool, but it's very nice property and everything that he uses for Airbnb. But the pool's the highlight.
Yeah.
And it's brown every other day because we'll go in there, we'll shock it, we'll clean it up, and then we get our heavy storms like we do here in this time of year, and it's all.
It's
back
like
in the pool
every night at 6 o'clock now.
Mm-hmm. I just noticed they put up sandbags around the whole pool. Looks horrible, but they got sandbags
That's a lot
built
of
up around the pool.
sandbags.
It's a lot. Yes.
Holy. I don't know if we have a video or anything like that of the pool. I know we have pictures of it, but that pool is gigantic. The house could fit inside the pool easily.
Yeah.
And it's massive.
Yeah.
But anywho, the next steps to cleaning up after are pretty much the exact same.
Yep.
I tried to find other stuff that maybe there's another step you can add, but it's pretty much the same thing. You had all these people in your pool. As long as you did the preventative cleanup, the preventative measures, post-party is pretty easy. But we're going to start right again with, after you clean your filter, they do say shock again. And I also seen another time where they say run your pump for 24 hours after a party just to clean up anything else that might have been.
Yeah, it's not going to hurt. You can never overfilter your pool. That's one big thing. People will whine and gripe a little bit about, my power bill. It's really not that bad. I mean,
you're splitting hairs at that point.
Quite honestly, if you're worried about your power bill, you probably shouldn't have a pool.
Yeah.
That's, hate to say it, but that's just what it is.
Did we ever figure out, I don't think we were talking about it, but if you were to run your pool pump constantly 24 hours for a month versus on a timer versus
no
variable speed?
We didn't, but I can tell you that on a single speed pump, you can run, when you run it for 8 hours a day, 7 days a week, you're going to spend about between $50 and $80 a month in electric on that pump.
A month.
Yep. And I can tell you that a variable speed pump will save you 15% just because it's more efficient, even if you're running it as a single speed. It's more efficient, so it'll consume less energy. But a variable speed, typically, you're going to save half the amount of running a variable speed. So, but that's a full topic for another episode.
Yeah, we'll do that. It's easy. After we shock and rebalance, it should be clean. If you do need a clarifier, if you do need to add any chems, always be testing while you're doing any sort of cleanup, especially all the toys, because when you first pull, say, floaties or whatever else, you throw them in the yard. Now it's got dirt.
And grass.
Now somebody spilled beer on this. Now somebody spilled soda on this. And then you're just throwing them back in the pool willy-nilly. Yep. Test afterwards as well, just to make sure that it's killing everything. With spills and mishaps on a pool, I wanted to bring up alcohol in the pool. I tried hard, but do you know off chance if, say, somebody opens a beer or whatever, drops it in the pool, I couldn't find what alcohol really does to chemistry.
Nothing. I saw a TikTok not too long ago of someone doing a pool cleanup, and he said he's adding vodka to the pool, like full liters of vodka to the pool, and that it cleaned it up. But I'm 99.9% certain that does not help the pool.
And it'll be so diluted?
Yeah. I don't think that did anything for it. But it's kind of like the myth about the magic eraser. Putting it in there, keeping your pool from getting algae. That's crap. But no, if you spill alcohol in the pool, it's just another organic material, just like anything else. Just like the oils coming from your skin on your body into the pool. It's just another product that's in there.
And it does help if you have the higher chlorine level.
Yep.
To kill that away. Lower chlorine level with all those people, and now you're adding other drinks or whatever into the pool. It'll help eat that down. But the one thing I remember back at a water park, glass.
Yep. If you break glass around the pool, the best thing to do is to drain your pool.
Yes.
Completely drain it, and pressure wash it or whatever. Use a shot vac to make sure you get all the glass out. Don't trust that you got it out just by diving the pool, because especially if it's clear glass, you won't know until somebody cuts their foot.
And that was a lot of things. They're like, if clear bottle breaks, shatters into the pool, shouldn't use your vacuum.
Yep.
One, it'll rip open the nets, or it'll rip open the tubing, depending on what vacuum you have. It's still not going to get it out. And some of those pieces are just big enough not to go through anything, so they'll just stay at the bottom of your pool or get pushed around by the circulation.
Yep.
So essentially, if you have a commercial pool or you're at a hotel,
it's automatic pool closure. Everybody's out until the pool can be drained and properly cleaned and refilled.
And it's like a proper clean. Every site I was seeing or researching everything on, sweeping, you're vacuuming, you're light, I forget what they called it, but with a rag, just to make sure if the rag doesn't get cut from the surface, there's no more glass. But shop vac, it's
intense.
Just to clean up glass. And a lot of people complain about, oh, I can't have drinks near the pool, oh, I can't have food near the pool, but
this is why.
What's the lesser?
There's a public pool in Indiana that I saw the article on that was a $20,000 cleanup because glass was broken into the pool. It's a huge, Olympic-sized pool that people are using, and someone broke a wine glass next to the pool, and that's $20,000. Between draining, cleaning, chemically rebalancing, and filling the pool, plus the water bill for 100,000 gallons of water. That's quite a bit.
Don't know if there's anything else you would recommend, either pre or post party, for a cleanup, but this is pretty much what I found. As long as you're clearing the pool of any obstructions, sanitizing it right, filtering it for a while before and after the party. The one thing I found was enzymes and clarifiers to help make it look pretty before people get up there. But you also had a good tip the other day. Do we want to skip to the tip?
If you're having a party, do not dye your pool water.
No.
Those dyes, they'll make the water look either blue, red, green, whatever color or festive you're trying to recreate, but it's going to absolutely ruin your filter. It'll clog the filters. It'll stain them. You'll never get the staining out of it, and it can stain your surface of your pool. They say that they won't, but it's not just that does it. It's the other things that are in the water that bind with it. For instance, the metals. If you have metals in the water, say you fill from a well, there's a lot of metal in well water, and that combines with that dye, it can cause the metals to come out of solution and permanently stain your pool.
Oof.
So, absolutely do not use those coloring agents that they use for pool water. That's big no-no.
Because I seen they were $10 to $30 depending on how much you need to do, and I was like, well, that $15 party trick just turned into another $150, $200 cartridge replacement, which also turns, if you have a DE filter, into another $75 open repair plus grids, which is another $150, all to make your pool look a little cool. Just get lights.
Absolutely.
We always end with a joke.
Okay. What we got today?
Well, I have some good ones in the bank. So if you haven't been following along, subscribed, or followed on Spotify, be sure, because I got like 3 in the barrel that are in the next few episodes. But I got a decent one. Okay. Which you've done before, but how much does it cost to swim with sharks?
I give up.
An arm and a leg.
Okay. Yeah, I have swam with sharks. I've got a video of me diving with sharks and stuff. And
how much did it really cost?
It really cost me about $400 by the time I was done.
Okay.
So,
a little on the high side, but
those adventures that I seek. So, all right. Well, thank you for joining us, and make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And always remember, just keep swimming.
You down with OPP? Yeah, you know me. You down with OPP? Yeah, you know me. You down with OPP? Yeah, you know me. Who's down with OPP? Every last homie. You ever go swimming? Man, it's so much fun. Now we got a podcast joining everyone, talking about pools, the stories we share, from backyard splashing to Olympic fair. We got chlorine, pH, and filter tips. Keep your pool fresh, avoiding no slips. With hosts so cool and guests so neat. We're dropping pool knowledge that it can't be beat. You down with OPP? Only Pools Podcast. You down with OPP? Only Pools Podcast. You down with OPP? Only Pools Podcast. Who's down with OPP? Every last homie. Dive into discussion discussions, no topics too small. From kiddie pools to water parks, we cover it all. We got pool parties and cannonballs too. If it's about water, we talking to you. Interviews with experts and stories to share. From poolside barbecues to water care. We got tips and tricks to keep your pool right. Listen in the morning or at the late night. You down with OPP? Only Pools Podcast. You down with OPP? Only Pools Podcast. You down with OPP? Only Pools Podcast. Who's down with OPP? Every last homie. O is for only, the best place to be. P is for pools, come dive in with me. P is for podcast, we talking weekly. Only Pools Podcast, the one and only. Grab your goggles and your floaties too. Tune in to our show, we got stuff for you. Poolside chats to aquatic news. Only Pools Podcast, you can't refuse. We teach you how to clean, how to keep it clear. The best pool stories that you'll ever hear. From summer fun to maintenance prep. Only Pools Podcast, we're your best bet. You down with OPP? Only Pools Podcast. You down with OPP? Only Pools Podcast. You down with OPP? Only Pools Podcast.